So today I have something really exciting. This is technically a Tappy Talks, but I'm not in my usual Tappy Talks studio today, although depending on when I release this could be the first one, I don't know. I wanted to give you guys what I want to call tap technique tips. It's really difficult to say. I'm sure some of you guys are like, let's try that 5 times fast. I won't. My face will end up twisted and it'll just be bad. So tap technique tips. I definitely want to give you guys these because I'm teaching you guys through YouTube, so I don't have you in class, in front of me, for me to be able to say these things to you when I notice them. Or like start the class off with, okay, don't forget the many things that we need to do to make sure we're going to have a successful practice today. So I want to talk to you guys about my top 5, because I love top 5 anything. I'm that girl that will watch a top 10 countdown. My top 5 fundamental fixes. There's a lot of alliteration in this video, and I didn't even realize that until I just said that. Tap technique tips. Top 5 fundamental fixes. Yes, so that's the subject of today. I'm going to give you 5 fundamental, important things that you can do to make your tap dancing better, just in general, all right? So, number 1, be in the correct position. So, what does that even mean? For everyone, it's going to be a little bit different. Some people like to have their feet more right underneath them. Some people have a wider stance. You've probably noticed I have a wider stance, and that is just who I am. But what I'm talking about is when you go onto your toes. Now, you shouldn't be lifting and traveling upward. You shouldn't get any higher because this is in ballet. In order to releve with straight legs, what do you have to do? You got to tense your muscles, right? In all the wrong places for tap. Also, if you're up here and you shift over to one foot and you try to shuffle, it's really easy to miss the ground. It's this huge thing. How do you miss that? You're too far away from it. So if you releve and you're up here, you're not going to be able to get any of your tap sounds when it comes to shuffles to the side or really most things that happen. So for a tap dancer, you want to make sure that your height stays the same when you pop up into releve. I did not change height. Measure me based on the Iron Man and the War Machine ballerina pictures, which if you didn't know that that's what those are, that's what those are. And you can see I'm not getting any higher. I'm simply popping my knees out. And what's happening is when I go into releve, I'm just going here. And this is such a stable position for us to be in. I'm close enough to the ground to switch feet and not miss. And it's a comfortable position, because as a tap dancer, we really need to be comfortable. It's really important. So yeah, it's a good position, a nice plie. To be plieing is a very important thing too, but we can talk about that in another video. So you have this nice, easily switchable from side to side position versus being up here where everything is tense and you kind of have to really focus to switch from side to side versus, just pop your knees out, bounce around, relax. That is number 1 important. It's like what I do on the first day of class. Every time it's a new year, I'm like, okay, let's go over our tap positions. And they're like, you mean like this? I said, nah, like this. Because we're much more relaxed, So, nice, relaxed, bounceable. Don't go up, go here. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, I already said it too. This is the biggest one for me, and I shout it into the high heavens in my classes. Relax. Relax. Most of the time, if you're having trouble with any step, it is because you're tense. You've got to loosen. I mean, yes, you have muscles that you have to use. There's finite little muscles in the ankle that have to work, but I find this a lot with ballerinas who then choose to learn tap, which is great, by the way. I love it. But it does present a little bit of a problem because in ballet class, and please forgive my ballet, and whoa, I have an IT band injury, and going into 5th on that side is hello, and I'm oh, right, I'll roll that one out later. So again, please excuse my 5th. So when you're in ballet, let's say you do a tendu, what happens between your toe and your hip. Everything's tense. Everything is engaged. All of your muscles are working really, really hard. Now try to do a shuffle with all of that muscle engagement. I literally can't. I can't do it. You have to chill. In ballet, yes, everything must be tight, and I mean, obviously that did not work, but everything must be tight, and everything must be carried and working. And a ballet bar, I will sweat harder during a ballet bar than I will running 1.5 miles outside in the Florida heat. Like, that's how much work you do. And it's not that tap isn't that much work, it's that we need to exert less energy in the muscles in order to complete the steps we're trying to do. Very important. So, relaxing. What does that even mean? Relaxing means same thing. Be in that position, and your legs and your feet are engaged, but they're loose enough to where you can do a shuffle. I kind of missed the floor for a second, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm nice and relaxed. You don't have to be up on your toes. You can be flat-footed just to get a shuffle. Do a couple shuffles, right? What had to happen in order for those shuffles to be nice and clean? This muscle is working. This joint is working. But that foot, do me a favor, point your foot really, really hard. Don't stop pointing it. Now do those shuffles. It's weird, right? And that's what I mean. The tension in the foot is going to stop your foot from being able to be manipulated. The work in a shuffle comes from here. It's not in the foot. So why does your foot need to be tense? It doesn't. Relaxing your feet helps your body use them better. And that's the greatest piece of advice I think I can give right now, is just to relax. You can't have so much tension and tap quickly and tap cleanly. Now, there needs to be a little bit of tension in order to make sure you're not just like, your foot's not just a dead fish, you know, it can't just be hanging out, but not so much that everything's like that, so much tension. Chill, relax. All right, so that's tip number 2. We are moving on to 3, which I already said. By the way, this video was not planned ahead of time, so I'm just like, wow, I'm really segueing nice. Number 3, don't go so fast. This is a big one. Don't go so fast. I think I broke the hearts of my entire Tap 2 class yesterday because I don't have them in Tap 1. They have a different teacher. Then they come to me and they're trying to do everything super fast. And I'm sitting here like, guys, you have to slow down. And they're like, but why? We're good now. And I'm like, okay, just because you're good doesn't mean you always have to go fast. And this, I think, is just this misconception about tap where you think, oh, I'm advanced now, so everything's fast. Oh no, all the advanced people out there going, oh, tapping slow is like the worst thing ever. It's so hard. Have you ever done slow time steps? It's torture. But also, while you're learning, don't focus on speed. Speed is not the end-all be-all of tap. Tap dancers, again, as I will always say, are musicians. And we need to be rhythmically accurate. That's what we need to be working on, is accuracy of sound, getting that nice musical rhythm. A big phrase in the tap dance community is be in the pocket of the music. You can't be in the pocket if you're going faster than the music. But even just as you're learning things, don't go faster than you should, because there's a reason that you have to try it slow and then build up the speed, build up the speed, build up the speed incrementally, while never losing the integrity of the step. Sometimes we go way too fast, way too soon, and yeah, sure, you did it, but the step didn't have as much as an integrity as it did before. Cramp rolls, my biggest example of this. Anyone who knows me knows how I feel about cramp rolls. I swear, Noise Complaint's entire audition is just gonna be cramp rolls. Noise Complaint, okay, audition time, everybody line up. Okay, just do a cramp roll. That's it, I just wanna see how they do a cramp roll. Because you're gonna get the people that are like, and I'm like, ooh, that sounded good. Now, do it like a different tempo. And they'll probably, maybe, hired. Why? Because you cared to give me a nice, even cramp roll. Then you have some people, give me a cramp roll. Not hired. because they thought they would impress me with just doing it really, really fast, but I didn't hear the 4 sounds. That doesn't mean as much to me or to the music. The music wants those 4 sounds. Give it those 4 sounds. So when you're learning your cramp rolls, don't focus on how fast you're going. Focus on how even the sounds are. So I love to use Adam's Family for this. Da, 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 da. That was really out of tune, but it's fine. Because everyone knows that song, and you know if you're doing the rhythm correctly or not because you know what the song sounds like. So if you're going, obviously, it's not the rhythm. So it has to be. And then you take that song and you incrementally make it faster. Never losing the integrity of the step, but you're working on getting it faster. Super important to not focus on how fast you're going. So what do we have so far as the tips? We have be in the correct position, relax. And we have don't focus on going so fast. All right, I'm pretty cool with those. I'm very happy with those 3. Number 4, another big one. Pick up your feet. How do you separate your sounds in tap? The separation of sounds is what makes rhythm. Otherwise, it's just noise, which I love noise too. Not some of the ones my neighbors are making, but it's just noise. If it's just I don't know how I do that with my mouth, but you know what I mean. You have to separate the sounds. Do you know how to make rhythm? This is the coolest thing. I get really excited when I talk about rhythm. Do you know how to make rhythm? Silence. Silence is how you make rhythm. Otherwise, it's just da, that's it. It's just one long line, right? How do you make rhythm? Da, 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 da. I made rhythm. I really hope nobody takes that and makes it the things that sounded awful, but you made rhythm by stopping the sound. So how do you make rhythm? Silence. So how do you make rhythm? How do you make silence in tap? Pick up your feet. I say this with pullbacks a lot. How do you clean up your sounds in pullbacks? How do you clean up your sounds in cramp rolls? How do you clean up your sounds in pickups? Pick up your feet. And I don't mean this way. Definitely don't mean this way. I mean this way. I mean sometimes this way. If you're doing cramp rolls, think about it. Pick up your feet. Make space between the floor and you, so that way you have time to come down. Gravity is not instantaneous. Gravity goes with how far you're off the ground. Obviously, if you drop something from here versus something from here, this one's going to hit the ground first. Science and math and tap go very well together, guys. So obviously, this one's going to hit the ground first. So you got to pick this one up higher if you want it to be later. Or you pick this one up later. But if you don't pick it up high enough, I'm trying to make it sound bad, and it's not working, but, right? So I didn't pick this one up high enough. I picked this one up super high, and this one up later, but this one didn't go that high. You have to pick up your feet. Same thing with a pullback. If you don't pick up your feet, they don't have anywhere to go. You have to pick them up back here. That is how you separate your sounds. You pick up your feet. Create space between you and the floor so that you have time to make each sound. It's another one of my favorite tips that I've ever given. Definitely. All right, and tip number 5. Respect the music. That's my 5th one. It's respect the music. And it's not to say that we disrespect the music. That's not what I mean. I mean fit the music the way that the choreographer intends you to fit it, the way that the music is asking you to fit it. Make sure that you are not going faster than the music and that you're not going slower than the music. And this isn't out of respect for the choreographer, respect for the music, so much as it's out of training you to have your feet work with your ears. that will make you a stellar tap dancer. If not only can you execute the steps, you can execute it in the correct rhythm, in a beautiful, recognizable rhythm. Because I don't care how fast somebody can tap. If I can't follow their rhythm, I'm not listening anymore. I will literally just stop watching. I'll be like, well, I mean, I can't follow their rhythm, so I'm not interested. I can't groove to it. I want to groove to it. So creating this knowledge of music to ear to feet is so valuable to a tap dancer. You got this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's your beat. Fit into that. Don't stray from it. Work on making sure you stay within that beat. You accent that beat. You become a part of it, and it changes the game. All you guys that have made videos and tagged me, a lot of times if I feel like you're spot on with the rhythm, I will say so. I'll be like, man, your rhythms are so good, or your timing is impeccable. Because that's something that really matters to me. And it's something that if you're in musical theater, it needs to matter. It absolutely needs to matter. Because there is a lead singer of the dance, of the piece that you're dancing to, with the whole corps of tap dancers is going to be really, really mad if you throw off her rhythm. So with musical theater, your taps are there to enhance the musical experience that the audience is having. You're adding auditory and visual to this musical experience, and they have to fit together with the song. So going back over all of these, the first tip was be in the correct position. Get close enough to the ground. When you releve, make sure it's in a comfortable, relaxed, movable position that is close enough to the ground. Remember, don't get any taller, okay? I almost felt like Michael Jackson for a second. That's great. Number 2, relax. Relax what you need to relax. And just relax in general. Tap dance is not a stressful thing. It shouldn't be a stressful thing. It should be wonderful and fun and relaxing and nice and high energy. But you know what I mean. All right, number 3, don't focus on speed. Speed is not that important. Clarity of sound is much more important. Speed will come. Number 4, pick up your feet. Create space between your foot and the floor so that you can create separation of sounds. And number 5, stay true to the music so that you can train your ears and your feet to work together. I really hope that these tips help you guys. I know I've been asked to create like a tips to help make you a better tapper. And I can't think of 5 that I emphasize more in my classes. There are more than this that I have, but if I was gonna pick my first 5, it's these. I say them every single class. I shout them into the void at my students, and yeah, these are paramount to me. And anything that I can do to make you guys better tappers is just what I'm after. That's my whole purpose right now in life. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got tons of choreography tutorials, technique tutorials. I've got tappy talks like this. Usually they're just talks. They're not also me like doing stuff. But I've got plenty on this channel. This channel is very, very tap centric. So definitely subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that wonderful good stuff. Join the Tap fam, and as always, thank you for dancing with me.